I'm sorry, I wanted to reach my Google account.
.55 to 0.57.
That's already. So is that already approved?
Yeah.
The others we just approved.
No.
I have one. I had an extra one. I just put a password on it, so sorry.
Megan, so he's presenting. Hi, Anthony.
Hey, Joe.
Oh, get back.
Good. Oh. So, all down the stairs.
What's your doctor say?
So she got. What do you find with Bush? The bottom was
Okay, it is 6 p.m. We'd like to call to order our Ephraim City Council meeting. Candace, would you please do a roll call?
Councilmember Northfeld is absent. Councilmember Stevens.
Here.
Mayor Scott.
Here.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Perry.
Here.
Councilmember Beal.
Thank you. We'd like to begin tonight with an opening prayer by Margie Anderson, followed by a pledge of allegiance by Lloyd Stevens.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day that we have to meet together and discuss some issues or some progressions of things happening in the city of Ephraim. We're grateful for our citizens and for their desire to make this a good community that we all feel good about living in. We're grateful that we have help from so many that volunteer with our upcoming Scandinavian Days. We're so thankful for all the people who work so hard all year round to make that a good and successful celebration for our city and for the people that attend. We ask thy spirit this night to attend us as we talk and discuss, that we will be guided with wisdom in making decisions. And these things we say in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Would everyone please stand and face the flag with me and repeat with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Candace, do you have any public comment? I'd like to move now to item 1 under presentations 1A, introduction of the 2025 Miss Ephraim. Hello. You look wonderful.
You all three look wonderful.
Tell us your name. Well, you're going to do.
My name is Cameron Douglas. I'm the new Miss Ephraim 2025, and I'm so excited for this opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to serving my community. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I'm so excited to be able to get my platform out there. My platform is called Healthy Mouth, Healthy You, and it's about raising awareness of having good oral hygiene. And I mainly want to base this on kids and teach children how they can take care of their teeth at a young age so they can continue it for the rest of their life and be happy and healthy adults. So I'm really excited to serve, and thank you for sponsoring Miss Ephraim pageant and giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Cameron, for representing Ephraim City. I think you're going to be just a terrific representative of all of the values that EFM stands for.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Do you have any questions of us?
Not that I can think of right now.
And have your attendants introduce themselves also.
Next, yeah.
I'm Sierra Curtis. I'm the first attendant. And just like Camry said, thanks again for sponsoring the pageant. I'm really excited to work with the wonderful Miss Ephraim.
Thank you, Sierra.
I'm Lexi Ogden. I'm second attendant for Miss Ephraim. And yeah, again, thank you so much. We're all so excited to be here.
Thank you, Lexi. Thank you. Let's give you a big round of applause. On presentations, item B, Friends of the Sanpete County Children's Justice Center. Hello.
Good evening. My name is Greg Lamborn. I'm actually from Manti, but appearing here on behalf of the Board of Friends of the Sanpete Children's Justice Center. If you'll indulge me, why I'm here personally. My wife and I, we both come from pioneer stock. As a family, we got together with our kids and talked about what we wanted to allocate a part of our family budget and income and our time to a cause, a charitable cause that was important. And in discussion with our kids, it came about that we decided that the most important thing we could do with our time and treasure was to look after abused and neglected children. And that's what led us to the CJC. So if you're not familiar, the Children's Justice Center is a partially public institution that's partially funded by the state that coordinates the law enforcement and investigative and legal and therapeutical needs of children who've suffered abuse or neglect. And it's a very important piece of the process for the child in particular, because as you can imagine, it's been traumatic enough to go through a situation like that, but then to have to relive it and relive it and relive it, and relive it in terms of speaking to the police and then to the attorneys and then to the other people involved, it can be quite traumatic. So the Children's Justice Center was designed to coordinate all of those various efforts into one single point of interview and contact and to make it as child-friendly and comfortable as possible. So what the CJC does is it meets with and coordinates with all those various arms of the government as well as the child services to coordinate their needs from their interview process and to make sure that that is done in a very holistic way that is in the child's best interest long term. Now, the state provides funding to coordinate sort of the law enforcement aspects of that and to cover the cost of the rent for the facility. But as you can imagine, even that process can be quite traumatic. It's just going through the interview process in a sterile sort of investigative environment. So one thing the CJC does and tries to do is make it as homey and holistically welcoming as possible. So it's designed to feel like a home. There, we make sure that there's comfortable furniture and toys in the waiting room and things like that. And there's blankets, pillows, teddy bears and such if they're not able to return home for whatever reason. All of that is mostly funded by the Friends group, which is there's the CJC, the Children's Justice Center, which is the public entity that provides the coordinated services for the law enforcement investigative agency. But then there's the Friends group, which is a nonprofit that supports the CJC. And that's just made up of volunteers who serve on the board and volunteer to help with whatever the CJC needs in terms of fundraising, in terms of manual labor and such. My son and I, we first got started mowing the lawn for the CJC on a weekly basis to help try and defray those costs and stuff. As you can imagine, it's very important work. And the funding covers part of it. The Friends and the private facilities cover a bit of more softer areas and such. But what the CJC would like is to have real commitment from the various cities. Again, the CJC represents all the children in the county and services all the children in the county. But trying to raise awareness with each of the cities and have their buy-in and participation is something that the CJC would like to work on. And as part of the Friends Board, that's what we're doing, is meeting with the council members to talk about what can be done. What is specifically being hoped for and asked is that there be a contribution of $2,000 annually to cover the cost of the therapy for a child that goes through that. The state doesn't necessarily cover all of that post-traumatic, post-investigative, post-prosecution, if there is any care for the child. And so that could be about $1,400 to $1,500 over the course of the child's therapy if needed. Now, not every child is going to need that. Not every child is going to need that full therapeutical process. But the CJC would like to ask, and I have all the information here for you, for a donation to cover the full care therapeutic service for at least one child from Ephraim. And so I'll leave you with a letter from the board that goes through the CJC, some facts, including, the CJC's conducted 464 forensic interviews with child victims in the last 3 years in the county. And then there's the donation request and the tax information.
Do you still have your house here in Ephraim?
In Ephraim, no, I'm in Manta.
No, I mean the CJ's
No.
house.
The office was moved from Ephraim. The lease, I understand, was up, and the Snow College was gonna take back that
That's gonna be
building.
the daycare,
Okay, yeah, there you
when
go.
they take the daycare.
So the office has been moved to Manti, and the Friends facilitated through funding a lot of the refurbishment of that building to make it everything it can be for the child.
Where's that at?
It's on
Second, well,
It's next to,
Miller's,
Miller's.
you
It used to be
Same
the
park.
county
Oh.
health,
The whip.
and then the county health moved into a newer building.
that's right. So we spend a lot of time and manpower and energy to refurbish that building and make it a home environment for the children.
yeah, I worked on the home here.
Oh, nice.
And we had some young single adults helping with the refurbishment of that home. And so that's why I asked, because I drove by there the other day and I thought, where's the sign?
Where'd it go?
And so, yeah, that explains what happened. Okay, so you'll leave that paperwork with us.
Absolutely. We appreciate your consideration.
Okay, all right. We are in the process of our budget, making budget decisions right now, so this is a good time to come. I think I speak for the council that we're not sure where we're gonna land. And so we've got some big ticket items. One of them being the HVAC system for this building for $150,000 that we have to find money for.
Understood?
And so we're looking at different things. Am I talking contrary, council? Am I? Is that-
I appreciate that this money goes towards
Yes.
Ephraim.
Yep.
Kid that is in trouble, and that's great.
So we'll let you know probably in June
Absolutely.
what we can do.
Thank
So if you'll leave that material with Candace, that would be great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Greg.
That's great.
Moving on to presentations, item C, recognition of Still Solar scholarships. Corey.
Good evening. I'll just give a quick background of how this scholarship come about. We're part of the Still Solar Project, which is involved Silver County. When the power purchase agreement was signed, it was stated that there would be scholarships available through this project. So UAM sent out a solicitation through the high schools. We put it on social media. There was 8 recipients. They were judged. They had to write a 500 to 1,000 word essay on renewable energy. And there was judges from, we don't even know where the judges were from. I think they were from Solvay, all over the place. But anyway, there was 3 students from Manti High School. They all live here in Ephraim. They had to be a member city through UAMPS. And I have 3 of them here tonight. Riker, Broomhead, Ash Brooks, and Caleb Meyer. You guys wouldn't mind coming up here? All right, you can just stand aside wherever, yeah. So each one of these students from Manti High School received a $2,500 scholarship through the Still Solar project through UAMPS. There's 3 of them. I had the the personnel from UAMS called me and says, how did you get 3 from Ephraim? I'm like, we have smart kids.
Since we're just that good.
We're just that good. Yeah, so.
They're just that.
It's Scandinavian heritage.
That's right. We're just that good. So, I wanted to read a couple things that was in their essay. They've heard this before because we went up and had a nice dinner with UAMS. They gave them their check that night. It was really a really neat experience, I hope, for these guys to get that money. And so they had to talk about renewable energy. I'll start with Riker. What made his essay stand out was he discussed nuclear energy. Nuclear is technically not a source of renewable energy, but it might just be a solution. Nuclear often gets a bad reputation, but in practice, it's quite safe. Nuclear is also extremely efficient and is as clean, if not cleaner, than the previous mentioned energy sources. Nuclear also doesn't negatively impact ecosystems like other renewable sources do. The cost of nuclear power is going down every year, making it more accessible to smaller cities. As a civil engineer, I can work on making nuclear power plants cheaper and more accessible. And Rikers wants to study civil engineering, so that's great. So this one's Riker. So, yeah. So Ash Brooks, she will study public relations and humanities. What made her essay stand out? She discusses the diverse studies needed to further the use of renewable energy. A successful energy transition will require strong research writing, effective legal and legislative work, and a lot of public outreach, just for starters. Part of this is interpreting research, then effectively responding with substance and persuasive writing. A large part of the advancement of renewable energy is passing legislation to make it more widespread. And part of the process, including submitting the bill. The person writing the bill must be able to express clearly and persuasively to legislators the goal and importance of the bill. I can be part of the process and improve renewable energy and how it is used throughout our community, state, and even our nation. I thought that was pretty unique. She could possibly be a congressman or something that could be part of writing these new renewable energy. So this is Ash Brooks. And all of these students have a 3.9 GPA and above. They're just top notch. So Caleb Heyer, he'll be studying mining engineering. What made his essay stand out? Caleb is studying mining engineering and is already well into the GIS certification, which how would you like to have an internship? That's what I'm looking for, is some GIS stuff. So that's cool. Yeah. So anyway, he writes, what made his stand out is one challenge facing hydroelectric power plant is the amount of resource necessary to build the dam. The Hoover Dam took over 4 million cubic yards of concrete to construct. In order for more hydroelectric plants and other renewable energy projects to be built, the cost of construction needs to be reduced. By finding more efficient ways to extract and process materials, mining engineers drive down costs that renewable energy infrastructure can be built. So that was Caleb's, what made his essay stand out. So it's Caleb Heyer. So Mayor, Council, I just wanted to present these 3 young, smart students from Manti High School and Ephraim. They all live in Ephraim. I wanted to come forward to you guys, and they've already received their scholarship. They received their money, and I just want to commend them for what they did. And there was a total of 8 scholarships, and Ephraim got 3 of them. So, and I think there was quite a few that applied. I don't know the number, but there was upwards in the 20 or 30 range that I've heard. So 3 of them were from Ephraim. So
I'm going to be with Congressman Burgess on Monday. And I'm going to tell him about you 3. That there are 5 awarded in the state, no, 8 awarded in the state, and 3 of them are from Ephraim.
yes.
They also like to have a little blast in the newspaper. about
Yeah,
this.
Yes.
have weight.
So I don't know if you guys would like a picture with these.
I want their autographs. actually.
Yes, of course.
I want a loan.
Yeah, so.
Corey, maybe you can stand with them.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Suzanne's not here. I don't know if I have the best phone, but.
Anyway, congratulations. I know I didn't tell you that.
They turn their backs to the table.
Yeah. Or is that what you were thinking, Margie?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We could stand up. Let's stand up. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Right, it'll be in the newspaper somewhere.
Way to go.
Corey, would you maybe call the messenger?
Yes, I will.
And just say, we've had this presentation and you really ought to. Here's a picture.
And give them
Here's
those
the
quotes.
story.
Yes, I will. I'll give each one of those folks. Yeah.
I loved it.
Let's give another,
Thank you. You know, Corey, I think it's something in the water and electricity. It must be.
it's active water power, do mix.
Thank you. Moving on to item 2, consent items. Ratification of warrant register between May 2nd, 2025 and May 16th, 2025, and approval of April 2nd, 2025, May 6th, 2025, and May 7th, 2025 city council meeting minutes.
I move that we approve the consent items.
I'll second.
Motion made by Councilmember Beal, second by Councilmember Stevens, all in favor.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to action items. A, conditional use permit Roaring Start Preschool, Megan.
I like that name. Roaring Start.
Okay, so this is a conditional use permit that Mackenzie Mason is applying for. She wants to do an in-home preschool. It will be 2 days a week on Tuesday and Thursday. She has alternated her time, so her starts after the public schools start, and then it gets done before they get out. So there's not that extra congestion in traffic. This is at approximately 52 East, 780 South, and our code just requires that for in-home daycares and preschools, a conditional use permit is required. Her neighbors within 200 feet of the property lines were all notified by mail. We have not had anyone reach out saying that they had an issue with this, and the planning commission voted unanimously to approve it.
Real quick, that's just across the street from Shella, their ranch.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Just trying to get my bearings.
Yep. Any questions for me? regarding the application?
Any questions, council members? Looking for motions?
I would make the motion that we approve the conditional use permit for Roaring Start Preschool.
Motion made by Councilmember Stevens,
Second?
second by Councilmember Anderson. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, passes unanimously. Now moving on to item B, Ephraim Commons Commercial Subdivision.
Okay, the applicant is Josh Peterson, and this is at approximately 100 East, 700 North. If you just scroll down to the location, yeah, right about there. Josh would like to do a commercial subdivision. He will be developing the roads and the lots, and then we'll sell the lots to people who want to have commercial businesses. He will also be retaining a lot or two to develop himself, one for his custom electric building that he'll be putting there. Can you scroll down just a little bit more? So that's kind of what it will look like. He is doing frontage improvements, and staff has reviewed for utilities, fire, water, sewer, all those things, and he has made necessary changes. So we just have a few technical changes left to make on the plat. But staff recommends approval, and the planning commission also recommended unanimous approval for his subdivision.
So that turnaround is sufficient for our fire trucks
Chief made.
and garbage and
Yes.
Maybe currently his office is near his residence. Is that kind of how he's?
Megan, this is just a question, but nothing that I would worry about, but what is that little thing that's shaped like an odd Oklahoma thing right there below the three? It's got the real skinny, yeah, and then
That really skinny-
What's the skinny part right there? Do you know?
That's the, yeah, Brian, a flag lot. So it's just part of the parcel that they own.
Oh,
Yeah,
But not for access.
yeah.
The access is off of 700 north.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm trying to get my bearings of where exactly that is.
Go back up to the aerial.
By the island.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Is it? Yeah.
I know that used to be.
Yeah.
There, and it's in the property.
So I don't think,
Well,
yeah, I don't think it'll be used as an access, I guess potentially it could be. Yeah, it's the neighbor.
So with this 6 parcels, it has to be commercial, it can't be residential, right? This isn't mixed use.
So it is a mixed use zone. His proposal is, commercial potentially, maybe something with some apartments or something. He hasn't quite decided, but it is allowed in the zone. He does have the apartments to the east of him and then the townhomes across the street. So he could if he wanted to, but most of the lots are going to be commercial businesses. He hasn't decided if he's gonna keep a big one or a small one, but he said he might end up developing them all himself. So it just depends on if the lots sell.
Because that's certainly not what we're acting on, whether, how it's going to be used, but just.
Right, and if there is, so if there is like a multifamily type situation, it would be, I mean, he could do anything from high density to a single family home, which I doubt he would in that location. It just doesn't really make sense. But if he was to do multifamily, that would come back before you as a conditional use permit. So,
make a.
so this would be a city street, right?
yes,
Be your private one.
yes, it will be a city street, yeah. He has a 56-foot right of way,
I
and
make,
there will be curved gutter sidewalk.
I make motion that we approve the Ephraim Commons commercial subdivision based on the recommendation from our planning commission for Josh Peterson.
Motion made by Councilmember Anderson,
Second.
second by Councilmember Beal, all in favor.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Item C, under action agenda, Ephraim City Resolution 25-10, Power Generation Plant Agreement. Corey,
We see Corey every,
he is
right.
a man on the go.
I'll bet he is.
I don't know how many more times you'll see me this summer, but maybe every month, I don't know. No, once if we approve this, maybe things will start, I won't have to be here in Austin, but,
Let's approve it just for that.
thank you, thank you.
Anthony.
I love you too. As you know, there has been some agreements in place that we have worked on with UAMPS the last few weeks. And the resolution includes the balance of plant agreement, the assignment agreement, and the capacity purchase agreement, which is all under the resolution ECR-10. Noted in the the assignment agreement. I don't know if you've seen that in your packet, but there is that 7.4 has been up to 7.6. That will cover some different things that's involved with the project, where it'll be included in that bond. So it's just not that number. We had to include that extra in there, so it's covered through the bonding. So we're not actually coming out of our capital improvement project through our budget. So it's all in one. And that's the main deal there is, or the main purpose of that. And the reason why it's getting moved so quickly is because with the assignment agreement, if we was to bring this back to council the middle of June, our pricing for this purchase would have gone up almost 1% increase on a 7.4 million. So it's moved forward quickly. So is what's gonna happen is the assignment agreement will be assigned to Ephraim for the 60 days, and then it'll be assigned back to you as for the bond. If that makes sense. So we can get that purchase order in place. It'll be under our name, but then it will go right back to UAMPS once that June, I believe it's June 18th timeframe comes around. It will go back to UAMPS, and then that fund, or excuse me, that funding will start, we will start seeing that funding, and the project will start moving forward with all of these agreements in place.
So Corey, how long is it going to be before it's up and running?
So I talked to Shane. He's thinking May of 2027.
Okay,
And that, it could be sooner. He just stretched that out a little bit.
I knew it was a 2-year.
Yeah.
Kind of a 2 year.
And he stretched that out a little bit. It just depends on how the winter goes. Hopefully, we can work through the winter and get a lot of things done. I'm pretty sure we can do a lot of the inside stuff during this winter. But it'll just be, final commercial operation will be probably May of 27 is what he's.
Supply chain issues.
But there is a few supply chain issues. Mainly it's the switchgear. The generator, they actually have installed.
They do.
They do. They
How
have,
big is the generator?
it's a 2200 kW. Whoa. Yeah. And I think the switchgear is the biggest thing, and those components are probably the biggest thing. And so, conduits ready available, wires readily available, things like that. And I'm hoping on our side, we can help save a little bit and do some work on our end, and Shane's willing to make that happen as well. So just, it's a side note there, but.
And it could go faster.
Yeah, it could, definitely, it could go faster, and, and that's the goal, is May of 27 before we get into high load of 27. I know that's 2 years down the road, but it could be 18 months, so it could be that summer of, or winter of 26, that fourth quarter, so. Anyway, I'm really excited about the project. I think it's going to be a great asset for Ephraim. It's, it's looking forward for us, just like, we talked about this, and, we, the mayor, have talked about this, about, the visionaries that looked at the old hydro back in the day, and they're like, hey, we need to build this for our generation. Let's keep affordable energy at a low cost and
Let's
reliable.
bring energy.
Bring energy. Yeah, let's bring energy and reliable.
1906.
1906. So,
I have a question that will betray my lack of knowledge in areas, but I know that we've had to purchase power
correct.
from different sources and so on. Is this something that, should we have additional energy in the future after it's running, that we can sell power?
Yes, that is correct. So we probably won't be able to sell the power off of this one, but the other projects that we're involved in, like Hunter, our Nebo natural gas, we should be able to sell that product, or that energy to the market, whatever that is. Yeah. And as long as we can run this at a good price, which the strike price should be pretty good. They're talking $40 to $50 a megawatt hour. Don't quote me on that, but it's going to be a pretty good strike price, as long as the gas, we can get our gas hedged for a good price. But that'll come at a later time, once we get closer to the commercial operation.
Have you looked at different gas suppliers?
I haven't yet, Junior. I haven't yet. I need to do that. I've just been kind of focused on this for right now. Once this gets rolling, I think we'll probably start looking into that and maybe get some RFPs out possibly, and see what we can do there. So, yeah, that's a definite, yes, we will work on that.
This is really a strong, this is a peaking system. It takes the tops off the prices that our residents pay. And if we can deliver it for 47 cents kilowatt hour, new scale, the reason why that failed for UAMPS is that it went up above 85 cents kilowatt. So we're looking at half of that. And so it's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
It's a smart thing for us to do.
It is, and like I said, that option will be for that second generator, the conduits, that's included in the bonding price. Conduits, stuff there ready to go in case, you know, there is something that we could come back to council with and say, hey, we need another generator, our load's going through the roof here, so.
And Corey and I have also talked a little bit about, and this might interest you, if some type of catastrophe should happen with our electrical system, which is becoming more and more fragile in this nation by the day, then there would be a potential for us to run this system to power at least parts of the city and do a kind of a, you know, cadence around the city. We would at least have electricity for, I mean, if we were cut off from electricity, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something, I'm glad you brought that up, Mayor. That's included in that bonding or that price.
See, and that really excites me.
Yes, and I made sure that Shane understood that's what we want to do. There's other cities that haven't done that. They just thought it was included.
Right.
This will be included because there'll be some extra engineering costs. There'll be some stuff on our end that we have to take care of. And we might be a switching procedure that we need to put in place to make sure that, all right, this circuit's only going to be on that's feeding the hospital or whatever it be, a critical load that we need, whether it be an assisted living center or something like that. That's very important for life and, you know.
Yeah.
And, can't think of the other word,
But it's a life and live.
life and live, that's right. Yeah, so that's, I mean, there's a lot of information here. I know it's, you know, UM sent all this to me, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. It's just got a lot of information. They cover all their bases and make sure we're covered, with the, assignment agreement too, with Cap Wheeler. So that's all taken care of. So like I said, this resolution will cover all three of those agreements. Then, you know, once that's approved, and I believe Mayor, you'll have to sign those other three agreements to get back to UAMPS, and then they'll be executed and anyway. Move forward, so.
Any questions, council members?
I'd make the motion that we approve Eastern City Resolution 25-10 Power Generation Plant Agreement.
Motion made by Councilmember Stevens,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Perry. All in favor?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Corey.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thanks, Corey.
Item D, Ephraim City Ordinance 25-07 amended fee schedule, Candace.
Okay, so this is our consolidated fee schedule we bring before you annually. So I sent this out to all the department heads and had them review their fees that they charge. And we had a few changes. I won't go through all of them. Some of them are minor, like in the sewer, the changes in some of the inspection fees that Jeff has going. There's a couple of them where it actually was an error. It was supposed to say something and our software changed it to 0. So we're fixing that.
Ooh.
Yeah. If you go down to the library fees, Michael's just added in that residents of the county consortium do not pay for library cards. Then we've moved to Parks and Rec. And Jordan went ahead and added a daily pavilion rental so that people could do it for the whole day rather than going through and doing $7 for every hour. A little bit more convenient for residents. And our recreation department also deals with the gym at the middle school and does a lot of their reservations for them. So Jordan put in the fees that he charges on behalf of the middle school to run that.
So is that like, let's say they have a season, a basketball season, do they have to pay $10 each athlete every time they go in or for the season?
It's different when it's a city sport, so it's
Gotcha.
some of the special leagues.
Oh.
So some of the special leagues, if they want to use the middle school gym, they have to go through Jordan. And they do have to pay $10 per athlete, and they have to have a background check to deal with kids. So he got that in our fee schedule. So he's gone through and just made some changes through here. But our biggest change is the electrical rates, which have already been approved. We had the 3-year rate approval that was done, what was it, John, 6 months ago?
Yes, we did our first things based off of that 6 months ago, and this is to get us on that fiscal year.
So these are the rate changes based on the study done, the electrical rate. And I know that you guys, Corey, you can add whatever you want. Oh, I was gonna see if you ran away. But as you can see, the base rate is going up and the tier rate is going down. And this is all based on the rate study that was done by Chris and his recommendations. So.
One other thing to add to that, so the bonding that we're gonna do with the natural gas is included in this rate structure as well, because that was gonna go into effect in July. So this rate structure is in line with that bonding for that natural gas.
So basically, I just wanted, so this was the one you already approved. This is just putting it into ordinance in our fee schedule.
So we're adopting.
You're adopting the fee schedule so that the rates can now be billed out. And that should be it, the power rate. Oh, and Corey also did do the solar buyback rate. That did go up in our solar policy. It is agreed upon that the city will examine the cost of solar to us periodically. And so Corey reviewed that, saw that we are paying a bit more. So he did raise the rate so that we pay back a little bit more, so that those are equitable. Anything else, Corey, you want to add to that, or John? Okay, that's all I have. There's no question.
Any questions, council members?
Business is business right now across the nation.
Okay, looking for motion?
I move that we adopt the from city ordinance 25-07, the amended fee schedule.
Motion made by Councilmember Veal,
Second,
second by Councilmember Anderson, all in favor? Yes. Okay, thank you. It passes. Appointments and council reports. Appointments under A, reappointment of Jason Jorgensen and Aaron Perry for a 3-year term on the Recreation Board. Are we okay with that?
Yes.
Council members? Okay,
We need a motion.
yes,
I'll make a motion that we reappoint Jason Jorgensen and Aaron Perry for a 3-year term on the Recreation Board.
motion made by Councilmember Stevens,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Perry, all in favor?
yes.
Yes.
Item B, appointment of Tyler Alder for a 3-year term on the RAP Tax Committee. He has to do a little dance, doesn't he, Candace?
Well.
Did you tell him that?
I didn't tell him that. We just basically, begged.
Okay, looking for motion.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Tyler Alder for a 3-year term on the RAP Tax Committee.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Anderson, second by Councilmember Veal, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay. Our city manager isn't here, but just a report, starting with our council members.
Nothing new. We're just getting ready for the Canada Festival, the fire department.
Yep.
They'll be there full strong.
Who got the candy?
Dennis did.
Dennis?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be back?
Yeah. And I think the fire department got a little bit on their budget too.
Okay, so it brings up the next question. Are we gonna take the Equinox as the council and throw candy out?
I'm judging close. So.
Hey, you're judging floats. More for us. We have 16 boxes.
Well, usually there's about 16,000 people there,
So.
give or take it.
Let's meet at 9:40.
Same place, but family does.
Yeah. Is that okay?
You guys are gonna have fun too.
Sure.
Alright.
We need to look as good as them.
We will never,
That is not possible.
in this life. Okay, Councilmember Anderson.
I just want to say, I feel bad I wasn't here for the Missy from pageant. I had an invitation from family members to join them on a vacation and had a great time, but I would have loved to have seen all of you and seen all of your talents, and I'm sure that you just did fabulous. And thank you for those who were in charge and helped this go smoothly, and deep appreciation for everything.
Yeah, I think we should give a round of applause for the adults.
Yeah.
When I say adults, you know what I mean. Old people.
That's all.
Yeah, Councilmember Perry.
Just a couple of things. I did talk to the ambulance, Neil Johnson, about the budget. He hasn't got back with me yet. He said he'd look into it and get back with me. The other thing, flags are up at the cemetery. I'm in the doghouse because I forgot about it, so I didn't get out there. I remember as soon as I drove by, I thought, oh, crap. They do look real well, so I'll have to work twice as hard to take them down, I guess. But that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember Bill.
Library has events planned for Scandinavian Days, and I think that's gonna be great. The Miss Ephraim thing was great. Thanks, Jenna, for all your work, and others. I got to introduce the MC, Sean Kerr, and it was awesome. Great night. Very great to be there. I was gonna say one other thing. Youth City Council, they have their new group.
Slate of.
So, yeah, they are gonna have a float also. So I heard from Julie Arnoldson today that all of those new, I guess they're ninth graders going into their sophomore year. There's, I think, 4 of them that are new Youth City Council people, so they'll be on the agenda maybe in a month or something.
He called me and got on next council meeting.
They're on.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have anything else.
Thank you. The only thing that I have to report, I mentioned this earlier, is talked with Burgess Owens, district representative today. He wanted to come here to Ephraim on Monday. And we started talking about the hydro, and he wants to come and see the hydro. And so he will be here, and then I think we may be having.
On Memorial Day?
Yeah. We may be having lunch after that. And so we're excited. You know, the hydro, we'll take him up to the hydro, and then what do we have to do? We have to come down the canyon, and where do you think we'll stop and park?
Oh,
Yeah.
right on the corner of
And then-
800 South.
Mayor, that's when you need to tell them about the scholarship recipients and say, we need a bigger road, and these 3 kids, you know. Give us all.
Yeah. So I'm thrilled about that. And just to let you know that Katie is in England and she's having a wonderful time, and it's about 70 degrees there.
Just right.
Perfect, unbelievable weather. I envy her. So that's all I have. So
Oh, this is a record.
looking for a motion to close our city council meeting.
I motion that we end the city council meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Councilmember Beal, second by Councilmember Stevens, all in favor.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. We're done.
Well done.
That's
Wow.
what our